Welcome to the Nurse Shark Academy Show, a Baxter Professional Services production. Welcome to the Nurse Shark Academy Show, where we're experts in nursing and experts in business. I'm Tina Baxter, your host. The Nurse Shark Academy Show highlights nurse business owners and others in the healthcare field who promote entrepreneurship. We interview nurse leaders and encourage them to tell their story. Today's guest is Shawntay Harris, and today's episode, how one ER nurse created a business to support the education of nurses. Nurses, are you burnt out, frustrated, looking for something new? Are you looking for more? Nurses, are you ready to feel the sun? You will dream big and expand your consciousness as an entrepreneur. Your nursing license is your key to freedom. Join the Nurse Shark Academy at the nursesharkacademy.biz today. Welcome to the Nurse Shark Academy Show. The Nurse Shark Academy Show highlights nurse business owners and others in the healthcare field to promote entrepreneurship. We interview nurse leaders and encourage them to tell their story. My mission is for you to own your seat at the table of nurse entrepreneurship, gaining the confidence, skills, and freedom to live your life on your own terms. You will dream big and expand your consciousness as an entrepreneur. Join us and support these wonderful nurse and entrepreneurs and leaders. We want to welcome to today's show Shawntay Harris of Eminent CPR out of Killen, Texas. Dr. Harris is an emergency nurse entrepreneur who created a business to support the educational needs of nurses. She's trained over 300,000 nurses worldwide, transforming nurses from bedside to C-suite into strong leaders of the future. She's also trained over 1,000 students per year in the last 3 years in the trauma nursing course and the emergency nursing pediatric course. And she's committed to an international education and has mentored course directors for ENA courses from Africa, Canada, Ukraine, and the military. Welcome to the show, Dr. Harris.
Thank you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. So we've heard a little bit about your nursing background, but I kind of want to step back and go to the very beginning and ask the most important question that we have is, what made you become a nurse?
Good morning, Tina. So nursing was actually not my first thought. It was after my grandmother became sick that I decided to go to nursing. So my first thought was to be an aeronautical engineer. And then I came to nursing after my grandmother became sick. So that's why I decided to become a nurse.
So you were looking to go to outer space. Is that it? Or at least help others go to outer space?
Yes, help others go outer space.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So when you entered nursing school, you said it was after your grandmother got sick. What was it like? Where did you go to school?
Right. University of Alabama, Huntsville is where I became a nurse in 2000. University of Alabama. So it was a great school, a very rigorous program, of course, and a very hard program, actually. Yeah.
So did you already have a degree as an aeronautical engineer, or did you transfer?
No, so Huntsville is a part of the space program. That's where a lot of the engineers are, and so that's what brought me there. And then once I got there, I decided to go to nursing instead of aeronautical engineer.
Well, you know what? There's always hope yet, because we probably will need nurses in the Space Force, right?
Right. And hopefully there'll be some young ones out there that can do that.
So what was your first job out of nursing school?
My first job out of nursing school was in an urban community, inner city community trauma center in Memphis, Tennessee, where my mentor, met my mentor, Burma Jones, who has many of these podcasts I've spoken about. She was my preceptor back then for my residency program. And now she serves, of course, as a mentor 24 years later.
Well, that's wonderful. That's great. I've had great mentors in my life who still are in my life. And as a brand new nurse and as a nursing student, they kind of took me under their wing as well. So I know the value of mentorship. And I'm glad to hear that you're also giving back and being a mentor to others.
Of course. Yes. I have students here that are doing their MS. I take MSN students, MBA students, and hopefully soon we'll be taking a few DNP students here at Eminent.
Okay. So what led you to emergency nursing? What got you interested in that field?
Well, let me tell you, I love to treat them and treat them. So, yeah, I've always been an emergency nurse since the beginning. I was one of the very few people that came right out of college 24 years ago, of course, to straight into the emergency department. And with a great preceptor, I've been able to maintain that career up through leadership and entrepreneurship. Of course, my business is also focused on emergency nursing. It's a foundation.
Wonderful, wonderful. So it looks like you moved around because you were in Alabama, then went to Tennessee, and then now you're in Texas. So how did that come about?
So my husband is retired military, and so that's how that came about. But I am also a veteran of the United States Army.
Okay. So did you work as a nurse as a veteran?
No, I was actually Signal Corps.
Okay. All
Awesome.
right. Well, thank you for your service.
You're welcome.
And we appreciate all that you've done and that to your husband as well. And
Mhm.
so I see that you are a member of Delta Sigma Theta.
Yes, I am.
Well, I am not a Greek affiliated. I went to Christian schools. They didn't allow that. But Delta Sigma Theta did give me a scholarship to go to school. So I'm very grateful for that.
Awesome. Happy to
Mhm.
hear that.
Yeah. And so, how did you then decide to become an entrepreneur? What led you to starting your own business?
So in about 2004, I started to do some consulting, and about that's also the same year that I started working, matriculating toward my master's in business administration. So my business, Eminent CPR, GBA, was actually my MBA project for school. So it's the gift that keeps on giving. It
All
was a
right.
school project.
Okay. And so you teach CPR and then train other nurses to teach CPR. Is that the idea of your
Yes.
business?
So here at Eminent, we actually have a big, robust program of CPR providers and instructors for all types of advanced cardiac life support, pediatric, basic, non medical. We do it all here at Eminent.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. And then it looks like you started also doing some legal nurse consulting. I'm a legal nurse consultant myself too. And so tell me about that career.
Very interesting career. I still am and still serve as an expert nurse witness, legal nurse consultant. Of course, a lot has happened since 2004, and I'm highly sought. I shouldn't say pretty highly. I am highly sought after, of course, because I am an expert emergency nurse. So.
And are you still working at the bedside, as they say, in emergency nursing?
No, I left a in hospital leadership in 2020, and I'm sure you know why.
Yes, I understand. A lot has happened in the last 4 years. Can we just say that? Okay, and so it looks like you have several certifications as well, as a emergency nurse, trauma certified registered nurse, and certified pediatric emergency nurse.
In addition, I have 7 board certifications, so 2 in leadership, and then
Mhm.
I am high five, so certified flight, pediatric, trauma, emergency, and transport. So yeah,
All right.
high five. So all of the BC
Okay.
certifications except burn.
Okay. Well, good for you. Good for you. And then you mentioned, as I mentioned in your intro, that you have courses for others in the world, Africa, Canada, Ukraine. Tell me about that. How did that come about?
Wow. So the virtual platform, because and then being military affiliated, I have contracts with several agencies, but the virtual platform truly enhanced my delivery and my reach, right? And so I was able to train nurses in Ukraine that were actively engaged. And nurses from Africa, Korea, and several other countries that I've trained nurses from. But this virtual platform that the ENA allows for the courses to be delivered by has truly increased the reach and also has helped to improve trauma outcomes.
So, can you give us an example of one of the courses that you've taught?
Oh, yeah. So I have a master course that's set for entrepreneurship. I have how to take the CENs, all of the board certification review courses for the Board of Certification of Emergency Nursing. I offer CPR courses, leadership courses. I have my own dedicated certification program for in hospital leaders. About 40 courses are offered through Eminent.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. And so, what made you decide to go in this educational route?
Well, it's always a need, right? Then that, again, it was my MBA project, so it was based on meeting a need. Of course, in an MBA program, you're not just there with nurses. So my thought process was, what is required for nurses? What will they always need? We're all lifelong learners. We all need education. And so, again, in the beginning, again, I looked at it as just a school project. So I did something that was really easy for me to do, something that I was very familiar with. And then I added to it, of course, over the next 18 years. I've been in business for 18 years, so I've added quite a few courses since that humble beginning.
You know what? That's amazing because I want our listeners to hear that you started out with a project that was a teaching CPR classes that you did for your MBA, and I think a lot of times we forget to do practical things with what we're doing, right?
Mhm.
And so in my own master's program, my project was on women and their experiences with alcohol addiction. Fast forward to getting a job working in addictions. Then I also now, work in psychiatry. So those things that we do can inform what we become. And choosing those important projects. I want also our listeners to understand that you didn't just start here, but you had a journey along the way. What was that journey like to get you from bedside to boardroom?
Bedside the boardroom. That is that is one of the topics that I frequently do at conference, from the bedside to the boardroom. Exactly. So as I worked in my own business, I also continued to work as an in-hospital provider and leader, because one, for legal nurse consulting, it really helped to have been, hey, 5 years at the bedside, blah blah blah, blah, all those types of things that come with expert nurse witness and legal nurse consulting. But my business, it was kind of, I was scared to leave in hospital for some reason, right? Although my business was bringing in more income than my in hospital leadership salary, but I was kind of scared. It was just to walk away from the hospital. Was nothing more than being scared. It's totally something that I could have done about 16 years ago, but I chose not to do, basically until I was forced, to do so with the pandemic.
Yeah. And I think for a lot of nurses, it's that familiarity and comfort that you have of that security of
Mhm.
knowing that you have a 9 to 5 and it's going to pay your health insurance and medical, and all those benefits that you have. But we forget sometimes some of the downsides of being, you can't really sometimes grow your business like you want to because your focus is being taken away. So as a person starting out, you may not be in the position that you can leave your 9 to 5 right away, and that's okay. And I want people to hear and understand that you can grow your business on your downtime, right? Which is
You
never really downtime.
certainly can. You can continue to grow your business as your experience grows in nursing, right? The entrepreneurship is a thing now, but it's also the experience behind it, right? That's what makes it go. It makes it grow, is the experience behind your nursing, experience, and then your business. It can also help to catapult you. So it's not just starting where you are. It can be, progressing,
I
progressing.
think I think sometimes people think that they have to jump in and do everything all at once, and
Mhm.
so when see someone as successful as you are with 7 certifications and everything, they forget the struggle to get there, the studying, the late nights, the whatever it is to take you to get to where you are. So, what can you tell our listeners about what it was like to start your business from the very beginning?
So at the very beginning, again, as a part of a school project, I started really small, right? It wasn't something that I intended to do. I was already supervisor, manager in a hospital. And so I just kind of wanted to get done with a school project. It was a $600 startup. I started out with basic life support and then just kind of added it to it. I didn't jump in all at once with a building, a website, cards, all the things, um,
Mhm.
you know, trademarks and all copyrighted material. That wasn't how I started. And I think that a lot of people today that I meet and I talk to, they're eager to get to this point, the brand. I am my brand and also my business is a brand. And so I think that it's very important for them to hear that this for me happened over time. I'm not saying that they can't create something that can become the it thing right away. But for me, it happened over time. It was a gradual process. It was very methodical, thought out, and it did not happen overnight to get to where I am now. I just want to make sure that everyone listens to that part, the Shawntay that they see today, either that be on stage or delivering some course or at some conference or doing something fab, as they say, on God, as they say. But, um, it didn't happen overnight. And that is very important for new entrepreneurs to understand when they look at my website, when they look at the pages, look at the prices, look at the content, look at the schedule. That's the my it's built around me at this point in my career. It was certainly not where I started. So it's very important for them to understand.
I completely understand and agree with you. I started out as a side hustler myself, didn't even think about a business. I was just a broke college student that needed to make money. So I learned how to teach CPR classes. And that's what I did. And I even had corporate accounts at that time. Didn't even think about being a business. I'm just like, you could pay me in cash, check. I didn't take credit cards back then. I mean, it was just very simple. And I rented my equipment. I'd even own the equipment that I had. And so I encourage nurses to start where you are, and eventually you'll get there. And don't worry if you feel like you're too old to get started. I just talked to a nurse and she is in her 80s and she has written her book and she's promoting her book right now. So it doesn't mean you're never too old to fulfill your dreams. And so I applaud you. So you may have to start slow and grow. You may be one of those that can start fast and run. It just depends on where you are in your life.
I truly, I have a course built around just that because, I see a lot of entrepreneurs that go get websites and logos before they hold a course, and I'm like, wow. So the business should pay for everything else. So
Yeah.
start small, work your way up.
Mhm.
Your logo may change over time. Your name may change over time. What may be, the it thing now may not be the it thing 20 years later. And a good example I always use is the word enterprise, right?
Yes.
Back in the early millennium when I started my business, it was enterprise was a key word to say. Now it's founder. Now it's incorporated. So, there's the change of the guard. So don't worry about logos and your name and all this kind of good stuff until you become established, because what you don't want to do is find yourself wasting money as you grow over time and, create other things. Another example, one of my good friends started a CPR business, and the name of the business was funny. I won't say it on your show, but it was pretty funny. It was a cute little name.
Hmm.
But when it comes to getting contracts and dealing with new graduates and nursing schools and churches, you can't go in with a name that's cute but may not be PC. So
Yes, I understand. Yes, I understand. I've seen some very interesting names for businesses and things like that. It depends on if you're purposely setting yourself out there to be that outlier, and it works for your niche. But if you're going to be out there for everyone, it's sometimes it's not going to work for you to be too clever and cheeky because people won't get it. Yeah. So then I was looking here. And then so you've actually have review courses that you teach that are approved by the American Nurses Credentialing Center as well. And it looks like you've done a lot of great things around emergency nursing. And you said you were a moderator then for the Black Nurses Rock group. And is that group still around?
Yeah, that Facebook group is actually still around. Absolutely still around. Over 200,000 members are a part of the Black Nurses Rock Facebook group.
Hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of work has gone into this, Shawntay.
Okay, I understand. I understand. And so then you have you mentioned that you're married. Do you have children?
No children.
No children. Okay. And so what's it been like to be that person out there in the world setting out your mark? Have you gotten any roadblocks that have come in your way, and how did you overcome them?
So not too many roadblocks again because my content is CE approved, and so it's and then my courses that I teach are most of them are American Heart Association or Emergency Nursing Association. So very reputable organizations, and then my own content is CE approved, so it's reputable too. So not too many roadblocks that I've had over the years. Even in the courtroom as an expert nurse witness, I've always had the certifications, the credentials, the experience to be there. So not too many roadblocks.
Okay. Okay. So if you had one piece of advice for budding entrepreneurs out there, what would it be?
One piece of advice that I would say is that do follow your dream, but write that dream down. Right? You know how sometimes you think of something and you're like, oh, what was it I thought about? So be committed to whatever that dream is. Once you write it down, take a look at it. Does it make sense? Does it vibe? Is it needed? Is it required? Is it something that's in the now? Or is it something for the future? So actually do the work, like do the plan it out. You don't have to start at the top and work your way down. You don't have to start at the bottom and work your way up. Just take your time, follow your dream, whatever that is, please implement it.
That's right. Or as they would say, write the vision and make it plain.
Write the vision and make that's a great thing. Write the vision and make it plain.
Yes. Okay. So, as we get ready to wrap up here, how would our listeners get a hold of you if they wanted to contact you, either as a legal nurse consultant or they wanted to take one of your ENA courses?
So again, they can reach out to me on social media profiles, preferably LinkedIn or Facebook, or they can also go to my website, eminentcpr.com, where they can find everything except the legal nurse consultant.
All right. All right. So, thank you for your time. This is Dr. Shawntay Harris. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you so much, Tina, for inviting me. This is fun. Great Saturday morning.
Great. All right. So thank you for tuning in to the Nurse Shark Academy show. If you are watching us on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. You can also find our podcast on Podbean or wherever you get your podcasts. And please leave us a comment and give us a like. We appreciate you listening in, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now. Tired of feeling trapped in a job that no longer fulfills you? Is your nursing job no longer the fun-filled adventure you imagined? Find your passion again through nurse entrepreneurship. Step out into the light and come feel the sun. Join the Nurse Shark Academy today at thenurssharkacademy.biz and come feel the sun. Thank you for listening to the Nurse Shark Academy show wherever you get your podcasts or watching us on YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you'll know when all of our episodes come out. If you want further information, you can contact us on the thenurssharkacademy.biz.